What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 6 of Hardcore Minecraft. In this episode, we're going to be setting up a bunch of tree farms. Some automatic, some manual. Wood, to me at least, is the most used building block, decorating block, and all-around useful block. So we need to make sure we can get as much of it as easily and quickly as possible. So, first things first, a little bit of research on what farms we should go with. Yeah, all these look great. Alright, so here's the plan. First off, we're going to be getting ourselves unlimited bone meal to power all of the farms. We can thank Mangrove for the design we're going to be using today. Then we're going to be moving into an overpowered but very simple farm that will get us oak, birch, jungle, and most importantly, spruce wood. And we have Kelp MC to thank for that farm. For all things mangrove, we're going to be going with Shulkercraft's videos. That's going to get us both the propagules as well as mangrove wood. And last, but certainly not least, is a very overpowered, playerless nether tree farm designed by Raiseworks. Well, I say with all that planned, let's start putting our plan in motion. We've got a couple thousand materials to get collecting, so let's jump right into it as quick as we can. Alright, with most of the materials collected, next we need to find a place to put the farms. My thought process is just a little bit off of where the raid farm is. For simplicity's sake, I'm thinking in the middle of the ocean, and not too close to land. Hopefully building a few farms this close together doesn't generate us too much lag, but what we're going to do later on will generate enough lag that these farms probably don't matter. Right over here looks good to me. I'd say we throw down a lily pad, claim this land as ours. Now let's throw together a quick floor so that we can start building our Bonemeal Farm. We'll set up ourselves a little home base and then we'll start to build our Bonemeal Farm. We're going to build it first so that the entire time we're here, we're generating bone meal for all the other farms we're going to need. And that's the first farm done. Something about it is a little scuffed right now. As you can see, one side isn't producing as well as the other side. I'll come back to this a little later, but for now, at least it's running. Got the entire farm running with 2 stacks of bones. As it runs, it refills the dispensers with new bone meal that it produces by bone mealing the stone and turning them into moss blocks. Pistons then generate new stone, pushing it forward, breaking the moss blocks. A quick release of water pushes everything into the composters. Once all 4 dispensers are full, it will start to send the overflow bone meal up the glass tube we've made, fueling the other tree farms to come. I've decided to create the tree farms on a higher Y level than the Bonemeal Farm, because I think it will allow us to play with tubes and water elevators and just give a cool look for everything. So we'll go ahead, get our water elevator all set up. We'll place our kelp on top of our soul sand. And if you're wondering what that red mark is, it's just from the Lightmatica mod. So with all that being said, let's jump right into the next farm. We have a lot to accomplish this episode. This is a very simple farm that doesn't need much explanation. The saplings are placed on the glass block. A dispenser is continuously feeding bone meal into it. Once it detects the tree has grown, pistons will move it out of the way. Then another set of pistons will push the fence gates, breaking the leaves, harvesting the saplings, and returning them to the player. The pushed logs go out of the way to the left, where a TNT duper rains TNT down, breaking the blocks, pushing them into the currently set up hoppers to be collected by the player. Before we move on to the next farm, I'm going to build a super quick lava farm. Every time I leave the area, I keep forgetting to turn off the Bonemeal Farm. Every time the farm breaks, I have to replace the lava. It's happened enough times already where I need to make myself a simple contingency plan so that I don't need to keep collecting lava. A couple buckets of lava up top, and we'll have infinite lava to repair our farm in the future. And speaking of the Bonemeal Farm, I've also fixed it. Had a few timings off, it wasn't yielding the optimal output, but now we're getting so much bone meal. That being said, let's jump right into the next farm. Alright guys, so this farm is slightly different but overall the same concept. We place a propagule for below the farm, gets bonemealed and grows above the farm, where it is then hit with TNT. The items drop down, passing by me, and allowing me to pick up the propagule drops while the remaining items filter down into a chest. Alright, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I ran this farm once, not realizing a wall got blown up. I then spent roughly 5 hours troubleshooting this thing. I was hyper-focused on the bottom of the design, kept overlooking the top half, and I was kicking myself so hard after and for so long. 5 hours because I was missing one wall. Ugh. I know from personal and previous experience, running this farm before it is fully populated with bone meal is a big mistake. There's so many hoppers and they're all so close to each other that if you run the farm, it blows up the tree, you're going to get the wrong items and the wrong hoppers. So we're going to give this farm some time, let the hoppers fill up. I've put some bone meal in the chest to the left, let it all flow through, and then we'll showcase the farm. While we wait for the farm to fill with bone meal, let's go ahead and get ourselves a nice little storage area. Look at that flow of bone meal. It's just so consistent and constant. What a beautiful sight. So another thing I want to do is bring all the storage from all the farms into our storage warehouse. The first tree farm, this will be simple. We're just going to use water, drop everything into the tube, and transfer it underwater into our warehouse. We're going to line the whole thing with glass, so that we can still see the items moving through the water if we want. So now that we've got that all connected, let's take the first farm, run a little test run, and see if everything makes it to the storage. And just like that, the items have made it. We just have to get the item filters all set up so we don't have to waste time sorting through all these woods. And if memory serves, I've got some extra oak sitting in a chest over here. Let's go grab it and place it into our item filters. Alright, perfect. That should take care of the item filters for the very first farm. The other two tree farms are going to be slightly more complicated compared to using water alone. We're going to set up a very simple detector and dropper system so that the items can arrive into the storage as they were intended to. Then once the comparator detects the item, it's going to extend a sticky piston, pushing an observer in front of another observer, sending a signal to the dropper, causing the items to fall down the tube. Trust me, it's simpler than I most likely just made it sound. Alright, let's block off the rest of the tube and give this thing a test. Looks like everything's firing to me. Let's make sure it's making it to the storage area. And there it is, another farm down. Alright, it's time to get rid of the mobs. At night, this thing turns into a giant mob farm. I've definitely repaired the platform a few times. I think we're going to keep it nice and simple, using only resources produced from the farms. We'll do a simple layer around both platforms using shroom lights. And then we'll do a layer on top and on the side of the warp trapdoors. Personally, I love that trapdoor. So we'll just go ahead and do this on both layers around everything. Surprisingly, it mob-proofs everything just fine. Alright everyone, with the power of editing, we've finished our storage warehouse, so let's take a look inside and a quick tour of everything. Here's our storage. Most of the item filters are set, but we've left ourselves a little room to grow and a little overflow. If the overflow doesn't catch it, it will simply burn up. We've got ourselves a second floor, so we can simply access the back end if we have to do any maintenance. We also have a second maintenance door on the side on the first floor here too as well. Taking a closer look at our farms, we start with our Bonemeal Farm. The bone meal goes up the item elevator, supplying all our farms. It's been working perfectly this entire time. We have our 4-in-1 farm, our Mangrove Farm, our Sparkumyt farm that we never really showed, and lastly, our Nether Farm. Let's go turn it on so we can see it running. As you can see, this is a playerless farm. It bone meals the warped crimson nylium, in our case we're using warped. If it makes a fungus, it will turn into a tree. If it doesn't, it will use a piston to break whatever it has grown, and try again. Once it grows a tree with bone meal, it stops and begins to fire TNT. It will do this non-stop as long as there's bone meal in the system. As you can see, the items go down into the dropper, drop down into our tubes, and head straight into our storage warehouse. Taking a closer look at our storage warehouse, it's a basic design, a lot of materials from the farms. And don't forget, a sprinkle of leaves. Gotta make a cookie god proud, right? Alright everyone, that does it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed everything we did half as much as I enjoyed putting it together for all of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. If you're new here, feel free to go back to episode 1. As always everyone, stay safe. Cheers.